Hello everyone. The last 24 hours brought some explosive statements regarding human-alien hybrids from the former Congressman Matt Gaetz, who spoke with the influencer Benny Johnson, who in turn posted the news on X. But before we dissect this one, we need a bit of a background here. During the memorable 2024 UAP hearing before the US Congress, we had a question coming from Representative Lauren Boebert, which was a complete surprise at least to myself, and I bet it was not exactly on the bingo cards of many people interested in the topic. She asked the witnesses whether they are aware of genetic programs run by the military with the aim of creating soldiers with augmented characteristics using alien DNA. So let's hear the statement firsthand as it happened.
There are rumors that have come up to the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities, hybrids. Are any of you familiar with that? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
I am not, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Then yesterday Matt Gaetz doubled down on that particular claim and even raised the stakes, so to say. He claimed that not only there are efforts to create chimeras or hybrids, but that there is an actual alien-human breeding program carried out in secret military bases using captured alien beings for the purpose. And let's hear that explosive statement from the source again.
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee,
Yeah.
which I joined. And the testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just the hard materials, it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics.
So, before we jump to any conclusions about this topic, I know that both the current and the former representatives are controversial figures for many people, and that fact alone may discredit these revelations right from the get-go. Next, in ufology there are no guarantees whatsoever that members of the Congress are not fed false information. They may as well be. But that said, we should also remember that sitting members of the Congress, in particular those holding high-level security clearances like Matt Gaetz had, are also privy to a lot more of sensitive information than any of us regular people will ever do. Where is my personal opinion on this? I am not that keen on fully believing in a breeding program aimed at the creation of hybrid beings. However, given it is quite likely that humanity is in possession of alien biologics, It is also not that unimaginable to think that someone did dare to try and use alien DNA to augment human beings, thinking in the direction of mind control and telepathy often reported by experiencers, as such traits would offer enormous advantages on the battlefield. Of course, there are many questions to be asked here. Would our and alien DNA be compatible to the degree allowing any of this? The so-called Nordic aliens would likely be the safest bet here, as they look quite similar to humans, and it would be safe to assume that their DNA could be compatible, and there are reports of them having intimate encounters with humans. Then again, we cannot be entirely sure whether aliens actually have DNA in their bodies and what its form and composition could even be. And that is not all from the last 24 hours. The House Oversight Committee of the US Congress issued a request to the Department of War and the Secretary Pete Hegseth, which covers the classification of 46 UAP videos, many of which are supposed to be in high resolution. Interestingly, one of those is a shoot-down video of one of the 4 objects which were taken down over North America in February 2023, and 3 of which were never confirmed as to what they really were. There are also Tic Tac UAP videos, which I believe had not been published in any form before. 14th of April is the deadline for this request to be met. What do you think, dear viewers? Do you believe there is an hybridization program actively pursued by human governments? Are there efforts aimed at creating super soldiers? And will we see some interesting UAP videos soon? Let me know in the comment section down below. In the meantime, I will keep on looking for interesting news from the UFO space and will keep you updated. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you soon in another video. Take care.